Hello? 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 Gregor?
Hello, Jamie.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Well, whoa. Hold on. Listeners, listen in. We have something good for you today, but you have to listen in.
And welcome to McEwan Brothers podcast. Here
We
we
have
go.
beauty. Here we go.
Hello, guys. Welcome to another week on the McEwan Brother podcast. Today, we're continuing our America trip. And Gregor, do you want to get us started on the next stage of our trip around America?
Yes, of course. So last week we discussed our trip to Philadelphia and obviously moving from New York. Now we're going further west to the capital, Washington, D.C. And what we did here again, we got a mega bus there, another evening journey, which we totally recommend. £43 is ideal. That's how much it costs for both of us to go.
A seat down with a table and a nice bit more. You paid obviously for the same again, kind of for us to get a table, which was good.
Yeah, exactly. A bit longer, but yeah, it was worth it. And straight there too. So when we got there, this is when there was a bit of a wee surprise for Jamie, as we talked about last week, where before we arranged the trip and booked everything, Jamie was like, it'd be nice to maybe sleep somewhere nice for an evening or a city or wherever we go. It'd be good to have some luxury basically. So I thought halfway through our trip, the perfect place to do it was the capital. So we booked up the Grand Hyatt Hotel in Washington and we stayed there for 3 nights, which was, the past has always been 2 nights and to a value of £400. So not too bad, really, considering everything.
Right.
We had
That's £200 each, and then you split that between the 3 nights we stayed there. The value is pretty damn good for a capital.
fairly central as well, but I guess the only thing was it did basically just include, bed. We didn't have any breakfast there, and we didn't plan on doing that because there's so many other places to go and see in Washington that we're like, yeah, let's make the most of it. So, Jamie,
Let's
what was
let's
your
go.
reaction to that?
So I going all the way back. I had spent 3 months going from an airplane to a bed that was a 10-year-old mattress thing. It was just a piece of cardboard to lie on for 3 months. To be fair, you make it comfortable because you go to Walmart and you buy tons of blankets. But anyway, that's the point. And then to finish off, to go traveling and do hostels, that's perfectly fine because the hostel beds were actually not too bad. They were really actually weren't. But the highlight of getting there and just realizing actually that it's not going to be a wee rubbish tiny bed. It was a nice doubles bed, comfy duvet, just was refreshing start to the holiday for Washington and seeing the capital.
I remember when we got to the room, obviously a double room, and then you just jump onto the bed and you're just lying there for like probably a good 10 minutes. You're like, oh, nice, comfortable place to lie, basically, right?
Yeah. So that was we actually do you remember so we arrived quite late on that day. So it was kind of like just literally let's arrive, dump our stuff, chill for a bit, and then try and get some food somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember the place that we went to get the food. It was actually you that chose the place,
Yeah.
and it was kind of different and quirky. But do you want to?
Yeah. I mean, if I remember, I'm pretty sure it was that Hey Pizza place or something like that, or some form of
Yeah,
pizza place where you basically build your pizza as it's getting made, right?
yeah. I don't know about you, but I really remember that being like surprisingly good. It was one of these things, and then the drinks they had on it was like a vending machine with like these random drinks. It wasn't just like basic. It was like lime, Coke, soda, and like different things and stuff. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I mean, it was good. I also remember like our window had the little writing on it. It was like X amount of steps to the National Mall. I think I'm looking at photos. It was like 2,800 steps. So that's how
yeah,
close we were to the center effectively, which is really good. So what we'll do is obviously first night sleeping. Jamie, I'm pretty sure you felt pretty refreshed the next day. And I guess in Washington, the big attraction there, especially for us, being kind of like, I love a good tech product and a bit of excitement, was these scooters, right? So we had to download the apps and literally we're out there trying to find the first scooter. And when we found them, we're like, these are amazing. Do you remember kind of jumping on them and like having the first experience there?
I remember like setting up the apps and stuff for because it was the electric bikes or electric scooters you could get. The electric scooters were just so much fun to go on and ride about the side. You just get to one part so quickly. However, there was a hiccup at one point for both of us that cost us a wee bit of money.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you remember that.
This is when we went to it was not kind of the mall, but was it not like this is Supreme Court at one end? And if you end up if you go around this, like the road right in front of it means that you incur like a charge because you've gone it beyond that area, which is not approved or not suitable for the bikes or the scooters. So yeah.
I think from what it is, it's like the government have put in places so there's specific zones that they're not allowed to be ridden or used or stopped, and if you stop it in these areas, you get fined. Which is incredible because we stopped it and got fined like 40 quid like that, and both didn't realise it till later on, and we're like, fuck, that was...
That's an expensive stop, I know. But I think we requested the money back. I can't remember if we got it back or not, but...
Yeah, I can remember.
Find ways. So on our first day, we pretty much went down to the obvious places, the White House. So there, the White House, there was a lot of, people outside, obviously taking photos, like kind of very touristy destination, but there was a lot of work going on. I don't know if you remember, you couldn't actually see a lot of the White House because I think they're doing work to the wall on the outside. Do you remember that crazy guy who was sitting outside and had like a kind of life-size model of Trump with a dummy in his mouth?
Yeah.
And
remember that.
And then he had like a umbrella where it's like Trump is a dick.
Yeah. He had like signs of no nukes, no war, think outside the bomb.
It's so true.
And then we got some good photos there. That was definitely that was like a bucket list tick moment of seeing the White House. Obviously, it would have been nice to get a bit closer and a bit further up, but still a bucket list ticked off. Do you remember after we did that, we ended up coming across a statue?
Vaguely. What's the statue of?
So I think it is Albert Einstein's.
Right. Okay. Let me. Okay. Yeah. No. I'm seeing the photos now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think you're right. Massive, like kind of almost looks like it was like sculptured out of a tree, but I don't know if it was.
I think it's just like massive piece of metal. It looked like that was pretty cool to see. And then just from there, I think we just continued all the way down from the White House and into, I don't know what that area is called, like the square, the long.
Yeah. So we made our way. I guess it's the mall with all the kind of congressional buildings. There was the where like the museums are, and the Washington Monument, the Jefferson Memorial, all kind of tied in with the White House. So yeah, we saw a lot of good stuff. And for example, the Botanic Garden, which we went to. There's I guess on the other end is like why is it the other end? I think it's the same end as the U.S. Capitol building. So yeah, we saw a lot of America's history, which obviously is a capital.
Then seeing Abraham Lincoln at the other end, which was like if we're talking in a general sense, it was just such a movie. It's the sort of things you see online, you watch and you see photos of things happening there. One of these places I've always dreamt of going, and to just go there and see it and feel the history that was all around it was really good.
So good. Do you remember the World War II memorial with the, the, I guess, statues of all the different city or countries, obviously that
Yeah,
were played in the war, and pretty much every country, and then in the middle was like the kind of water feature with the ducks going around. It was really quite moving.
yeah, definitely. Remember that? There's a lot. There's just so much history there that like you could go there again, but have someone go around with you and talk to you about everything and have a guide just to get even understand it a bit more, because it was good to see it and understand and be a part of it in that moment. Just being able to see more of it would be even better.
Yeah, would recommend. Obviously, it is such a big site to go and see everything that that's why these scooters are great, but you can't really use them there. You have to go on the roads and stuff. But whenever we went round to the Jeffersons, Thomas Jefferson's kind of memorial building,
Yeah,
that was quite cool to see as well. And a wee bit out of, you have to end up going round the water to get there. And highly recommend. Do you remember also I think at one point in the first day we saw the food trucks and these sort of things, but we ended up calling home. Do you remember that? There was a vague point where like, we called mom, and it was like, oh, what are you doing? And we're like, oh, we're in DC. And I was like, oh, this is quite a cool thing to
yeah.
say.
I actually don't. I'm struggling to like remember that much.
Right, okay.
I just my biggest first day was scooters, all the history of basically around DC, around world wars, presidents, national buildings, and just really maximizing our day of trying to visit all the main sites. Because remember, we used the Mapster app, and it's specifically just pinpointed all these different buildings we kind of wanted to see.
Yeah,
and I think we both had like, just let's get that done. Let's go see all these.
Yeah.
And then maximize our time.
Right. So the second day, obviously, we're there for kind of like 3 days. Where did we have breakfast on the second day, Jimmy?
So this was like was it not like a wee Chinatown sort of like wee shop that we just like came across and went into it, and it was heaving. It was tons of people in, out and out, like just constantly. You just feel it was like somewhere. If you're a local, you go here for your breakfast and get something, eat quick, and you're out and you're on your go and you're on your day.
Yeah, exactly. Almost like diner kind of vibes, but mixed in with like kind of Chinese sort of
Asian
atmosphere, Asian, atmosphere. It was fine, done its served its purpose, so it was good. So I think again, this obviously we wanted to explore more of the mall and the sites around there. Do you remember seeing sort of the kind of artwork pieces that were around?
Yeah. So at that point, we basically found this like wee garden, was it not? It was just a wee garden. Went into it, and there's all these random sculptures, but you think they're random until you actually look at them in more detail. They're very well engineered and thought about pieces of art because they're illusional. They have illusions. They're like
optical illusions. Yeah,
optical illusions. One of the ones I remember clearly was the house that basically was caved in. But when you looked at it front on, it looked like it was pointing towards you. But if you're at the side, it's actually the completely opposite.
Yeah, it's quite cool. And it like maintains its same shape all the way around, and then until you get to the same point where like you notice it. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So from there, we decided to go a wee bit out of the, I guess, the main city, right? And we went to this, I think it was called Yards Park, and we made our way down there, right?
Yeah, so I actually think the goal was to go down and try to see the stadium. So down that direction was the baseball stadium.
Yeah.
I can't remember the specific name of the stadium name, but I'm sure we went down there just for a change and just came across this sort of wee park, got ourselves a wee sun to eat, a wee drink, just to refresh her up, because we were going in the schools quite hard down to there.
Yeah, we were definitely well, I guess not maybe getting our money's worth, but taking the distance, and when we can use them, we use them. So
Yeah.
totally worthwhile. But after that, I'm pretty sure we went round to the back. This is where we got in trouble. It was like the US Capitol building. That's
Yeah.
where it's, I don't know if it's like limestone, but I remember it being so bright when the sun reflecting off the clear white stone that
Yeah.
yeah, it was almost blinding. But yeah,
I
really cool.
I remember at that point you didn't have sunglasses.
Well, I had to wear my glasses, so I don't have any. If I were to change them out, I couldn't see with just a normal pair of sunglasses. So yeah,
I was just like, this thing was blinding. Like, just I remember that.
yeah. What about the ice cream that you got eventually?
Yeah, so it was a roasting hot day. We're both in shorts, t-shirts, carrying bag. I was carrying a backpack as well for like other wee essentials that we need throughout the day. But we came across the trucks, so the line of trucks again, and we thought, there's an ice cream truck, let's get an ice cream. Obviously thinking America, let's get something different, something you've not had before. And so Gregor, you got like, was it an Oreo one or cookie sort of style one?
Yes, it was. That was nice. I liked it.
Which was good. And I seen this one that looked like it was like strawberry. I thought it was just like a strawberry cone sort of thing. It was just like a whippy but strawberry flavored sort of thing. I got it and then realized that it's like dipped in. So the ice cream gets dipped in this like melted like almost like wax like stuff, some substance. And I went to bite it and it was just like most horrible like waxy feel texture to it. And I don't actually know if I finished it or if I scraped. I think I maybe scraped off all the start stuff off and then just had the ice cream on the inside because it was just so different. And yeah, was that fan?
Yeah, I remember that. So I guess from there we end up going to the US Botanical Garden, which was
Yeah.
pretty cool, like unexpected. And when they say Botanical Garden, they mean it. It was, you go up into different levels and see all these different kind of plants. Um, it was quite a cool place.
I don't know if you remember, but I felt like we just came upon it. I felt like we were trying to find it, and then just all of a sudden came upon it, and we're
Mhm.
in the outside gardens at first, and then realized, oh wait, this is just like the start of it. This is just like a wee tiny bit outside. And then we went inside, and it was this most air conditioned, cool room you could be in. And just I remember just going, oh, this is nice just to get inside for a bit. And then you go through, and the wildlife of plants, that vegetation that grows in that place is unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a cool place to go. Even just like being around plants and chilling out in there was nice.
Yeah.
Where did we go next? Do you remember?
So the next place after that is basically, I think from what we remember, all these buildings are very quite close together. They're not actually that far apart. But the
Mhm.
next one was the National Space Museum. I
Yeah,
can't remember
okay.
the official name for it, but went into this space museum and oh my
The
god,
Air and Space Museum. Sure. Yeah, from which one as well.
yeah. Go inside of it, and the first thing you're hit with is like full size planes, fighter jets, engines from spacecraft, stuff like that, just sitting there like in this massive room. And you've never seen anything like it. You think some of the museums that you go to in the UK are good and amazing and fun. I think it completely blew me away, the scale of it.
It was, yeah, it was cool. It just, I guess the buildings are so big that they're like aircraft hangars that they had the actual planes in. And within obviously this museum, there's a lot of like areas focused to certain types of planes and space travel, and we got to see a lot of cool things basically. So one of the one of the kind of activities that they have as well was the simulators.
Yeah.
And basically virtual reality simulators, and you had a choice of different kind of planes or different missions that you could do. So me and Jimmy chose the fighter jet, right?
Yeah, fighters. So it was like a fighter jet round thing. But then remember, there was different kinds of simulators you could go on. So there's one that you would just sit on, and it would just tilt and move. There was one where you could put VR headset on, and you'd be like fully immersed. You didn't have really much control, but you could just feel like you're in something. And then the one we went on was the one that could completely spin and move and go upside down.
Yeah, I remember you were flying it. I'm just kind of taking like the absolute Mickey out of the whole thing. The mission didn't matter. It was just how can we have the most fun here?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that was
So-
good. Then,
Well, no, wait. I left it upside down.
oh, yeah, yeah,
Just to make it aware. I had control. Gregor's busy like trying to pretend to shoot, really like fucking no clue what's going on and what's actually happening. And I'm going, wee, just spinning this.
yeah, that was fun. At
What would
the
you
same
say your
time,
highlights from, what would you say your highlights from that building? Because actually, I think that was really good fun, but actually a highlight for me was not that.
interesting. I thought some of the space stuff was quite cool. When we got to see the spacesuit, I don't know if it was actually Neil Armstrong's spacesuit, but to be with an arm's distance of like what it looks like and how it fits together, and obviously well lit. That was quite cool to think that this is what is involved in when you go to space. What was your highlight?
I was going to say the exact same. I actually felt that, okay, albeit it might not be, but I reckon it is. I would like to say that it is the same suit that was used.
Yep.
At that time. If you think about the amount of money they spend and they change the suits every time they go and stuff like that.
True.
And I just thought that was just pretty amazing to be like so close to something that's a massive piece of not just American history but human history. Like that first person on the moon is just out of this world, as you would say.
Yeah, no, that was good. So that later that evening, obviously been very busy. I think we went back and had a little, I don't know, siesta or whatever. But we decided, obviously, we're going out for dinner. And you put I'm looking at photos here, and it's like I don't know, some Ralph Lauren shirt or some sort.
Yeah.
And we went to this local pub, and we both got served drink, which was good for you.
Yeah, I think actually putting on the shirt helped, and that shirt is, so it's got Ralph Lauren logo, it's got the label and everything on it. I got it from a thrift shop, which is a basically American style sort of like charity sort of place. Cost me $15, which is like £12 in our money, and these tops go for stupid money over here. So I was like, this is brilliant.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Definitely the advantages of a thrift shop in America. You just don't get that in the UK.
Okay, sorry, I need to go for a poo. I'll be back.
Genuinely.
That was and it's that's the first half of it. The second half's gonna be soon, like. But anyway, let's continue then.
Okay, so
Final day.
yeah, final day. I'm looking at photos, and obviously we had to check out. I can't remember what time we had to check out, but it's typical hotel stuff you have to do. And what we had to do was
I had to get a flight.
I'm looking at photos and going like, where were we? What were we doing? Yes. So this was the
We
flight.
had to get a flight. So it was just literally get up, try and get us. I'd organized my stuff. So basically, from camp to being there, from that whole period, my bag was a mess. So I spent a lot of time trying to. Do you remember? I was emptied out, tidied it up and stuff. And then literally getting ready to get our bags together to try and head to the airport to get ready to fly to Buffalo.
Yes, so this leads us on to our next leg of the trip, which was Buffalo. Now, we're pretty much kind of, instead of going further west, just going kind of straight up north, heading up to Buffalo, and we'll maybe catch, or we'll explain next week why we went there. If you know, you know. If you don't, find out next week. But yeah, really good. And it was a, very easy flight. I think we flew JetBlue or something like that. Do you remember sitting in the airport and getting like a Five Guys and going like, yes.
Oh yeah,
Good.
it was a good munch.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Well,
before we finish off, what was your highlight of Washington, and where would you recommend anybody listening that they need to go and see?
so I would say try and stay in a really central hotel, like what we did, Grand Hyatt, would recommend. And if you get the chance to go and spend some time in the Air and Space Museum, because it's a lot is there, and we probably could have spent longer in that building. And there's a lot of information to absorb, and it was, activities to do. It was busy, exciting, and don't regret going in there at all. What about you, Jimmy? What would you recommend, or what would your highlight, and who would you ask or recommend?
I would say the best thing for if you go there, spend a few more days. So I reckon you could go there for 5 days because there's so much to see. I would say that you need to maximize use of the scooters because they're pretty cheap, they're fun, they're everywhere, and you have a good time with them. If they were a good laugh getting about with them. And then probably a place that I think that you need to go, I would actually agree with you. I was going to say that before you even said, but it was definitely go back there. We turned up fairly late on in the day after doing an awful lot already. And I think if you've got the time, go there, spend more time there because there was so much more to see. There was other things you could have done, but we obviously didn't want to wait in the queues and the time that we were framed that we were looking at. There was other stuff to see, so
I would agree.
especially go there.
Oh. So yeah, that summarizes our Washington DC trip. So yeah, had a ball, good time. And Jamie, do you have any closing questions or remarks that we could finish off for our guest this week?
I think we've done very well, and I would like to say everyone thank you for listening in. If you've not listened to any other of the trips beforehand prior to this one, we do have other episodes that talk about basically our overall experience in America, and we hope you're enjoying the journey that we're going on with this.
Yeah, totally agree. Thanks for listening. And next week's going to be a good one. We're going to have a good explanation, or there's a lot of stuff that happened in Buffalo, and I get outside Buffalo as well, but we'll get onto that. And yeah, look forward to speaking to you next week, Jimmy. And yeah, thanks for listening.
See you later. Cheers. Bye bye.
Bye bye.